As we have heard today, there are numerous concerns related to so-called environmental, social, and governance policy.
This is stuff that, like, 10% of Twitter cares about.
Nobody should think, by the way, that this movement is striking a blow against global elites, which we've heard a lot about today. If you're interested in that, you should join our investigation into Donald Trump and Jared Kushner, who brought home $2 billion, not million, $2 billion from Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates for a company he created the day after the Trump administration ended.
Going head to head for my favourite takedown of the day were MVP Jamie Raskin and fast-rising Democratic star Jared Moskowitz. Raskin, as he usually does, came equipped with receipts. Today they were in the form of Jared Kushner and the recently liable sexual assault assailant former President Donald Trump. Raskin's comments come after Republicans spent valuable time holding a hearing not on pressing matters such as the fact that America has had more mass shootings than days so far in 2023, but to infringe on something they claim so desperately to care about.
Indoctrinated into accounts by woke asset managers. Today's hearing will help us better understand what Congress can do to ensure that activist stakeholders will not encourage woke corporate activism, as we have seen recently with Anheuser-Busch, Disney, and even Nike. Because as we all know around here, when you go woke, you go broke.
Nobody should think, by the way, that this movement is striking a blow against global elites, which we've heard a lot about today. If you're interested in that, you should join our investigation into Donald Trump and Jared Kushner, who brought home $2 billion, not million, $2 billion from Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates for a company he created the day after the Trump administration ended. So don't talk to me about global elites. That's the Trump family business, trafficking in global elites and their businesses. And he collected millions of dollars in unconstitutional foreign emoluments from Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Indonesia, Egypt, a whole bunch of countries that patronized his hotels and his golf courses. So I don't want to be lectured to by anybody about global elites, because I was here for the 4 years of the Trump administration.
Anyway, it's worth noting that while these clapback retorts from Raskin are enjoyable, they're also necessary. I've said it before, but the idea of starving elected officials of oxygen as a useful tool will get us a room full of Marjorie Taylor Greens. I just pictured it. It's essential that we have fighters like Raskin and Jared Moskowitz and countless others on hand to be voices of clarity, because it's needed. This is a country in which children are being mowed down at school, at malls, and that issue is what we should be focusing on, what our taxpayer dollars go towards.
I'm from Parkland, where the shooting was at my high school, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. So if you want clarity on what a deadly weapon is, I can assure you it's not ESG. It's a kid with an AR-15 and unlimited ammunition walking into my school and killing 17 people. So let's have a real sort of grip of reality of what investment strategy is or is not versus what a deadly weapon is. You know, after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas school shooting, you know, Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods announced that they would stop selling assault rifles. And, you know, I applauded them for doing that. And if I want to invest in a company because they've decided to make a policy change, I should have that ability to do so or not do so, by the way. I'm pretty sure I just saw, you know, some of my colleagues going out and, you know, shooting Bud Light cans because, you know, they didn't like what Bud Light was doing. Should we have government mandate that they got to go invest in Bud Light because we want to support Bud Light? I mean, that's what you guys are advocating. I mean, it's really kind of crazy. And so, Mr. Chairman, I ask, when is this committee going to have a hearing on gun violence?
You weren't here last year, but all the hearings pertain to the Washington Commanders football team. They pertain to the Equal Rights Amendment. They pertain to abortion. They didn't have a single hearing with a single Biden administration official. They didn't have a single hearing on any type of anything relating to how tax dollars were being wasted by this administration. So maybe you should take the lead in campaigning for your side of the aisle, and then if you all win the majority, then you can have hearings on the Washington Commanders football team again.
No, reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman, that's fine. I wasn't here, but, you're in charge now, and mass shootings are completely out of control. And so you have the power to make the decision, decide whether we should have hearings on D.C. public urination or on mass shootings. You're the chairman. I'm just a lowly Democratic freshman. And so I implore that this committee start to look at mass shootings and the real weapons that are destroying people's lives, which are AR-15s. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
But we know that if Republicans had their way, they'd step up to the dais with an AR-15 pin on and hold a hearing on Hunter Biden.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.